It's Gem City Tonight with Andrew Mitakides, featuring music director Aimee James. Tonight's guests from the Dayton Art Institute, Jerry Smith, Chella Marie Smith, and comedian Charlie Hester. And now, here's your host, Andrew Mitakides.
Woo! There we go. It's nice to have that lead in. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gem City Tonight. I am your host, Andrew Mitakides. Thank you for spending some time with me. You have your other options, but hey, at least this one's kind of fun. So let's just jump right into it. So the summer is almost gone, and as many as you know, people start working out again. I'm seeing a lot of people I don't know at the gym, brand new faces, because a lot of us have procrastinated and they need to hurry up and get that beach body in shape. So they're doing 9,000 crunches, running from here to Alberta, and they become GNC's president. They're making Jack LaLanne look like the Pillsbury Doughboy. See, that's an old school reference. That's a callback reference. If you don't know who Jack LaLanne is, go ahead and Google that one. And I get it, and I'm happy to have those people in the gym. I'm totally fine with that. And working out is great. It helps many people all around the world take part of their day. It makes them feel better. You know, in 2017, there were roughly 38,477 gyms in America. Yeah, that's one douchebag every 98 miles. On average, yeah. If you're in Cleveland, it's one every 98 feet. And in Vegas, one every 98 millimeters. So the spacing, I'm just going to keep doing this until the show plays. But I'm also not mentioning those psychopathic Jonestowns they call boxes of weights and broken dreams. It's CrossFit. I'm sorry, I normally don't take a stand on this show. I normally don't. But episode 14, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right here and now. I'm taking a stand. CrossFit can kiss my ass. It really can. Now, I know I probably lost some of you right now, but stick with me. I get that there are different types of working out that work for different people. This is why the Thigh Master was a thing. Totally get it. But if you use CrossFit, and I know a lot of people are, and people are probably doing it right now, which is fine. And let's be clear, anything that gets you up and makes you happier and healthier, I'm totally fine with that. We've had guests on this show that have talked about mental, physical, and emotional health. I'm all for that. But I don't get the point of this cult-tastic, I don't get it. And if anything, it's amazingly polarizing. Because there is no middle ground. It's like, yeah, I tried it once, it wasn't bad, and so forth. It's either like, oh, come to my box! Which sounds sexual in nature anyway. Or, screw this, it's a pyramid scheme with sweat. This is awful. Oh, and by the way, if you want to watch a hardcore CrossFitter shed a tear, tell them who invented CrossFit, because it was a teenage gay male gymnast. Yeah. It's like telling a 6-year-old there's no Santa, and their dreams are crushed. Wait, there's no Santa? Wait, I just read that. There's no Santa? All right. But I'm not here to harp on CrossFit. I'm really not. The main focus is that it really gets people going is the other thing about it, is diets. And yes, for years this has been such a hated word. And interestingly enough, many people equate diets with losing weight. But much like people equate Kim Kardashian and Kanye West with dumb baby names. God, those poor children. They're not just their names, but their parents. It's true. You want her as your lawyer? No, I don't think you do. But a diet is anything that actually makes up some of your food. So for instance, if you only eat vegetables, you're a vegetarian. If you do not want to eat or have anything from animal products, you're a vegan. And if you eat Bojangles and drink sweet iced tea and sleep with your sister, you're a University of Alabama fan. Don't roll Tide. Not on that one. But diets have taken on so much more context that more of the word lifestyle choice is better, which I know sounds like a sexual fetish, like you dress up like an anthropomorphic animal character with human personalities and characteristics. Those are called furries, and those are just goddamn weird. They are. They feel each other up like they're trying to figure out the prize inside. Oh, it's weird. I'm sorry, I don't get it. In fact, we're gonna get letters from furries, and if we do, I'll read them on air. I really will. But as many as you know, there's not just one diet out there. That's the problem. And just to name a few off the top of my head, there's Caveman, Keto, California South Beach, Weight Watchers, Dila Meal, Slim Fast, Gluten-Free, Vegan, The Real Housewives, Atkins, Jenny Craig, Paleo, Mediterranean, Pescatarian, Episcopalian, Weight Watchers, Raw Foods, Intermittent Fasting. I can't believe it's not a diet and a liquid diet. Wait, was one of those a religion? What? Who put Episcopalian in there? What? That made no. Well, all right. But these are just to name a few. And even half of those, there's a million questions. And the number one question of all, is it right for you? And the one on everyone's lips right now is keto. And yes, half of the people watching this show just rolled their eyes, like, oh God. But no, it's fantastic. Actually, we have someone on the show later. She will explain it, what it is, get into depth about it, because everyone's like, it's Atkins Light. No, it's not. There's a lot of other factors to it. So luckily, she's gonna enlighten us on it. But it's just like when people say CrossFit, they're just like, God, oh, come on. And walk out of the room. But, just like, once again, Kim and Kanye, you start talking and everyone's like, no, click, off, no. Swipe, done. It's true. But in reality, there's a lot of benefits to it. But I know we've harped a lot on diets, but I want to end my monologue on something completely different. I was talking with my friend John the other day, and he's like, how funny would it be if cops one day actually arrested other cops? And I was like, oh, my dear friend, stop holding your breath, because that day is here. Because a great story coming out of Detroit, Michigan, because we're in Ohio, and any chance we get to crap on Michigan, we're going to take it. So literally, it looked like a scene out of Keystone Cops, or almost like the Benny Hill, like do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. It was great, because the incident occurred when officers of the 12th Precinct in Detroit went undercover for the purpose to deal drugs and smoke out other drug dealers. It didn't help, they were all dressed up like Grand Theft Auto characters, which is true. If you look at the photos, the pants are down to here, they look like the Crips. But when you're a 45-year-old white guy, not really pulling it off. You're really not. But they did this so they could arrest the buyers. 2 buyers went into the house and pretended to be drug-dealing police officers, and they met undercover police officers who were the drug dealers. And the best part of the story is it was from the 11th district. This, like, literally next door, the 12th and the 11th. They couldn't send a smoke signal to each other, a fax, a call, an email, a text, anything, nothing, a mimeograph? A mimeograph, what am I, 60? Who? I was down at the phosphate getting me oh no, God. Anyway, they began to search when they arrived, wearing body cams, and they captured the whole incident. And they were fighting each other, and they had the same weapons, which should have been a clue. And then it took a minute and a half for one of them to be like, we're cops! Stop hitting us, we're cops! Of course, leave it to Michigan to have trouble scoring in under a minute, so. It's true. We got a great show for you tonight, but first, Aimee James. Of course, Michigan.
I know.
Hey, any chance I can get to do that, I'm gonna do it.
Hang on, Sloopy.
OH.
I-O, baby.
Well, I got enough fans in the crowd. OH!
I-O!
That's what I'm talking about. Oh. How do you get a Michigan student off your front porch? You pay for the pizza. Yep. What's the other good one? Oh, I can't say that one on air.
I know, there's a few I know.
I can't. All right. As many of you know, we always do a fact from the city of Dayton. For our ladies from Dayton Unknown. So this is your fact. Not surprisingly, Dayton was the point of departure for the first cargo shipment by plane. The shipment was on November 7th, 1910, and contained 2 bolts of silk. The plane traveled from Huffman Prairie to Columbus, which took roughly about an hour and a half, which is about what it takes now. After this event, postcards from the Wright brothers biplane were sold and small pieces of fabric attached to it. So the first ever cargo shipment came out of Dayton. So if your stuff's, late, you can blame Dayton. You know what I learned the other day? We patented the flush toilet with the thing above the toilet. We did that.
It's so random. Dayton's full of random.
Well, we also did, all right, so let's see if I can get these right. The Cheez-It, the Pop Top, the Heart and Lung Machine, the ejection seat, and the parachute. By the way, those were a week apart.
I know.
Wouldn't those be back to back? Like, how many people do you have to bounce off the tarmac before you're like, dude, somebody get Billy and R&D on the phone. They're not cats. They don't land on their feet. The starter for your car, cash register.
I still like cheese.
You know what, world? You're welcome. From Dayton, you're welcome. All right, I'm gonna have a little segment. I'm gonna have a little fun when we come back. So stick around for more Gem City Tonight.
These are like 50 years older. Like, I feel so good.
I want to make sure that all of them kind of align.
Table for two.
Hey, Ben.
There's always somebody who can be there for you. Call 1-800-273-TALK if you need help.
All right, welcome back to Gem City Tonight. My first guest is absolutely the most interesting person I've met so far doing the show. Please put your hands together for Chella Marie Smith. You brought your own cheering section. I love it.
Hi, how are you?
Please. So I was going to say everything you do, but the show's only an hour long.
Right.
So in short, I'll let you introduce Chella Marie Smith.
I'm Chella. I am a motivational speaker. I work with keto recently.
We'll dive into that, don't worry.
I am a dive master professionally, and yeah, I do a lot of stuff. So ask me what don't I do?
Yeah, touche. So unless you can fly, which will change the whole nature of this show real quick, you do everything. Let's start with the fun stuff. So dive master? What? So you're in school now. Mm-hmm. I don't even know where to begin. How did you get into it?
So I've been sick for quite some years, and I was doing water therapy. And water therapy kind of really motivated me to go back to school. And I started going back to school in Kentucky, and I went for just an open water certification, and I went all the way up the ladder. I'm actually in my assistant instructor's courses, but I'm not done with the course yet. I'm doing interning. Mm-hmm. But I am a dive master, and I just dove the U-352 off of North Carolina's shore, mm-hmm. Which is an interesting submarine because it's from World War II. And yeah, it was an honor to dive that.
How do you, I mean, like these are historic events. Like, do you only do like sunken treasure, or do you sunken treasure? What am I, a pirate? Why did I say that?
I love sunken treasures, though.
Who doesn't?
Right.
But do people call you and you're like, hey, we want you to go down, photograph it for us, check it out for us? How does it work? How would I hire you to do this?
Well, I got a call from my dive partner, Eric, and he says, hey, Pete and I were wanting to go. Pete is Hamilton County Sheriff's Water Rescue. He says, hey, you want to dive a submarine, World War II submarine? I was like, are we allowed? And he was like, well, sure, we can possibly dive it. 9 times out of 10, you don't get to dive the sub. They cancel out on you, do whatever reasons. And so I was like, sure, I'll go dive it. And I said, well, do we have a dive master taking us out there to dive it? And he's like, no. I was like, so we're just going to take the coordinates and go dive in the middle of the ocean. He's like, yeah. So basically we drove forever there. And then we get there and we go 30 miles out at sea. And, they say, okay, you're here. And they take a a line and they put it down for us because the current was it picked up that day, and so there was 6 of us that went down on this dive, and you can't stay down for very long. We dove on nitrox, so nitrox mix of air. We dove that, and it was amazing, I have to tell you. It was like...
I saw some of the pictures on the Facebook and the ones you gave us. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, so they have a replica up in Chicago in the museum. I'd like to get up there. I really wanted to dive this dive, though, because I had been to Pearl Harbor, and I had visited the U.S. Arizona Memorial. And so this actual submarine was taken down after the Pearl Harbor attack. They came to attack us over in North Carolina a year later, and we actually took the sub down. 14 died, and then we actually took the rest of the men that were on that ship into custody of the United States. So it was definitely an honor to get to dive that.
That's awesome. When you first proposed, people were like throwing out names for guests or whatever, and you came up, and we started talking, and I was looking at everything, and I was like, is this fake? Does she really do all this? And we started talking, and it's incredible. So, well, let's jump over to, you do documentaries, you're a motivational speaker. So then let's move over to the film side of it real quick. So you dabble there doing what?
So I have a show that is called Catwalk Events, and I bring in models, lighting and grip, hairdressers, photographers. We all come together and we touch base on an epidemic issue that's in our community. Whether it's drugs and suicide, whether it's crime and violence, all areas of epidemic issues. And I decided that I would start making documentary short films in regards to my shows to give everybody an opportunity to have something to look back at.
Right.
So I started doing that. I was very successful, and we have Hopeful Glamour out there. And it was on about 14 pay stations, and then it was taken down and released to the public after my sister had OD'd. So I made it free for everybody.
That's awesome. So how many have you done so far?
Well, okay, so since making this documentary, I've done 3. And now we're just doing all kinds of other films. So, and in the future we are going to do more. But yeah, we're working on a film right now. Actually, one of my partners is here from Dayton. His name is Rhea, so yeah.
Nice. He's out there somewhere?
He's not here, but
No.
he's here in Dayton.
Oh,
so.
okay. All right, I'm not letting you go anywhere because we're not done with you. So
Nice.
We'll be right back with more Gem City Tonight.
On August 11th, my brother Max wrote these words and hanged himself. He was only 15, and he had his whole life ahead of him, but he was tormented and bullied until, hopeless and alone, he took his own life.
Though Max's pain is gone, the pain of his family will last a lifetime. Don't let this tragedy repeat itself. If you or someone you know is speaking or thinking about suicide, talk to an adult.
What wouldn't you do to stop it?
All right, we're back with my guest. This is her fault, and you'll understand why here in a second. We're back with my guest, Chella Marie Smith. We've done your diving, we've done your films. So we're gonna get to, this is why we were having problems saying this. So you have had diagnosed with ICC.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna try this on air.
Interstitial
cystitis
of the bladder.
of the bladder.
Yes.
Not saying it 3 times fast, it's out there. So explain to our audience what it is.
So what it is, it's white spots that grow on the inside of your bladder, and basically my bladder is deteriorating from the inside out. And I've had 58 surgeries as of today.
So one of the things that's helping that we spoke about in the monologue and so forth, that's on a lot of people's tongues, is keto. And you've turned to keto, and I'll let you explain that journey.
So I turned to keto because I go through surgery every 3 months, and I had noticed a change in my body. I just started gaining weight. I didn't know what was going on, and I had some blockage in my pancreas and liver that caused, for me to get sick. I gained a lot of weight. The doctor's like, "Oh, you're 39 years old. You're getting over the hill." I'm 40 now, by the way. And
you just had a birthday, right?
right, and they were like, that's all normal. And I'm like, no, I swim. I'm doing all this other extra stuff. There's no way. So I was right. There was a problem. After I had the surgery to correct what was going on, I was very unhappy with my weight. And my cousin, Rachel, she was doing keto, and I just started studying it. I started to wonder what it was, what is she doing, how is she losing all this weight? So I turned to keto, and I went full-blown with it.
I will admit, I was, even though I railed kind of against it for a second in my monologue, and a lot of my friends will know that I talked about, like, it's God, they're on keto, whatever. The recipes you put up, I'm not gonna lie, I've stolen some.
I love to cook.
I said the one with the pickle sandwiches you did?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
Oh, and it's interesting because not only, without explaining it in depth of what it is, it's just generally eating healthier.
Yes, it is.
And it's getting inventive and it's getting creative with the foods. And where do you get a lot of your source and materials for stuff like that?
So I just research. I look on Instagram, I look on Twitter, I read books, I Google, I go on Facebook, groups. I do any way. I look for recipes everywhere, but I also just look in a cookbook and I say, okay, well, I can eliminate this and substitute this.
How do you make it keto friendly?
Right, how do you make it keto friendly? And a lot of people thought keto was like just cheese and eggs, bacon. It's
I had to do some research on it, I'll admit it.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's that, and basically surgeons put people on keto when they were trying to get them to lose weight or after surgery, post-surgery. So that's where the keto originally came from. Well, the reason why I call it a lifestyle and people call keto a lifestyle is because basically you're taking yourself back to when you were born with fruits, vegetables, and lean meats originally. They didn't give you hamburgers, with bread. So you're basically resetting your body back to the nutrition that you started off with.
Right.
So you learn what vegetables are lower carb vegetables versus the higher carb vegetables. Same with the fruits and same with, meats and so on. You eliminate your starches, you eliminate the breads, you eliminate, processed foods and things that, as you got older, you started eating all these things.
They were introduced to you at an older age.
Right. And then you start, gaining weight. Well, as you get older, your metabolism slows down from all the things that you're putting into your body.
Yeah, I'm finding that out.
And then, and people are trying to go to the gym and they're running miles and miles and miles and they're not getting nothing's coming from it. And I've heard so many stories like that to where you can be on keto and not have to work out. And you will lose in all of your fatty areas. So I had worked out for many years. I've been in the show business kind of, and I wanted to keep my health. I realized when I read up on keto that I was living that lifestyle forever.
Do we have to start doing keto now? Is that what this is?
And in places I was going to the gym to lose weight with, I didn't lose weight with it. I lost weight with it by doing keto. And basically keto is just eating properly.
Sure.
So I put a lot of things on my Facebook. I'm IPT Chella Marie on Facebook, and I have
Stop answering the questions I'm going to ask.
I have a folder on there
You're doing my job.
I have a folder on there that says keto is a choice. So basically, inside that folder, you can see the carbs for vegetables, the carbs for fruits. I put grocery list in there where I don't put the list, I put the picture so that way you can follow it easily.
That's why I can follow it.
Yeah, you can just match up the picture to your grocery list and say, I got keto, and then you can go home and just cook what you have and mix it all together, and you're not going to eat outside of the keto.
The thing that I like about the way you do it is it's for the benefit of other people. It's to help other people.
Yes, it is.
And the way you talk about it and share it and so forth, that's how keto should be done.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, I can't eat it on keto. Like, God damn it, I don't even know what this means.
So I found my mom doing a diet just recently, and I was like looking at her diet, and I wanted to know who gave her this diet, first of all, because she was eating like a whole cup of rice. She was eating 2 ounces of potatoes, and I'm like, I can't do this no more. I was like, I can't even look at your diet anymore because I would never eat that because I'm not going to lose weight eating the way she was eating. So I have now put her on Carb Manager, which is a free app that you can go to in your Play Store or in iTunes.
You have it?
And
there you go.
And it's the best recipes.
There you go.
yes, it has really good recipes already on there, and also you can monitor your keto. And then in the notes, I take my weight every morning and put it in there. Once you get to your target weight, though, you can up your carbs. So if you're doing keto correctly, when you're finally at your target weight, you can up your carbs. If you start to lose, you eat a couple more carbs. You add to your carbs. So you eventually balance your diet. And then you can do this with bodybuilding, keto. You can do a whole lot with keto. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna finish. We could talk about this for hours.
Hi, always.
So we're gonna finish up with 2 fun questions. So you've got your keto. What's your cheat meal?
My cheat meal.
What's your screw it, we're doing it. What is it?
Thanksgiving, Christmas. I like Skyline.
Yes! Finally, my first guest will join me in this. Skyline is a cheat meal.
I'm from Cincinnati, so I love Skyline.
Yeah, not Gold Star. Not Gold Star.
No.
And so, being in Dayton, because you travel up here a lot or whatever, where's your favorite place to go in Dayton? To hang out, eat?
No, I'm just checking.
You can say that. I'll say
Cold
it.
beers and cheeseburgers. I love that place.
No. I want you to say your first one, please.
My first one was Diamonds.
There we go. I mentioned it in my first monologue ever on this show, so why not? So
yeah, so I like cold beers and cheeseburgers. They also have a little sushi restaurant down the street that I like. So yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm not letting you go. We're going to play a game with you later. But when we'll be right back with more Gem City tonight. We're going to end up go to the Dayton Art Institute.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's okay. You're all right.
Sorry.
It's okay, Gabe.
All right, welcome back to Gem City tonight. So every now and then they let me away from my desk and we do a segment called A Greek in the Streets. This time we get to take a cultural in-depth look at the Dayton Art Institute and one of my favorite Impressionist paintings, the Monet exhibit. So take a look where Jerry Smith, the chief curator, takes us around. Check it out. So now we're in the Monet and the Impressionism exhibit. But I want to highlight, you not only have done the Centennial, this is kind of your...
Yeah, as chief curator, I have the luxury of making decisions on what art comes on view. That's a pretty good gig.
So you need to go into people's homes, you can find paintings.
I get to talk to people, yeah, as chief curator, people invite me into their homes. And I get to see the things that they have and the things they live with. And people are so generous to say, yes, I want to share with others. And it helps us do these exhibitions.
So the Impression, 14 pieces?
14 pieces in this exhibition, 3 by Monet.
And a lot of people don't know where the word Impressionism comes from. It was from a review, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it's from a painting that Monet made, 1872, Sunrise Impression. And a critic was writing a kind of scathing review of it, like, oh, a mere impression of a work. And Monet and others liked it enough that they said, yes, Impressionism.
And it was born.
And it was born. And it really kind of speaks to the idea that Monet, when he was first painting, hard to imagine today, but when he was first painting, he was radical. The idea of working on bare canvas, on leaving blank space, on making a painting in a single day, that was radical at the time.
The bad boy of the art world.
He was.
So one of the ones we're going to start with before we big stuff. So this is the stepdaughter.
This is yes.
There's a story here.
Yes, this is Blanche Possédé Monet, and it was his stepdaughter that when Monet's second wife, she had children, and later she would marry his son. So she went from being his stepdaughter to daughter-in-law. And she was one of the people, he never had students.
That's what I was going to say, he was very hesitant.
Yeah, very hesitant. But she grew up painting alongside of him. He kind of taught her how to mix paints and things. And to where he learned how to created Impressionism, she grew up with it. Mm-hmm. So she's a true Impressionist in that sense.
Even the title, Hydrangeas in Monet's Garden, is Giverny.
Yeah, this was a work that she created in Giverny, 1942. So it's after he passed away, and he died in 1926. And she kept the gardens up. She kept them going. Where she took care of him late in life, she helped keep the gardens going. And I really do believe that were it not for her, the gardens wouldn't be the great attraction they are today in Paris.
Nice. So let's move over to the works themselves, the man themselves.
Yeah.
So before we touch on the Monets, you have pieces, you just listed all of them off. They're from?
We have works by, besides Monet, we have Renoir, we have Degas, we have Carl Frieseke behind me, we have Matisse, we have Bonnard, we have Sicily,
just a name.
Pissarro, just a few. And it really is a fabulous, it's a gem of a show.
It is very beautiful.
With major figures.
And you said three pieces are DAIs.
Right. We have the Monet, Degas, and the Bert Morisot.
And this being one of ours.
This might be the most popular work in the museum's collection. It's 1903 Water Lilies from Claude Monet's famous Water Lily series of his gardens and pond in Giverny. The thing that just kept his attention and imagination for the last few decades of his life.
So this one's always here, but this one's
always here. This one is here on loan from the Denver Art Museum.
So how did we come to have one of their pieces?
Well, Denver Art Museum is working on a major Monet exhibition. And they wrote to us asking if they could borrow ours, because it would be an important addition. I knew that they had this in their collection.
You say that slyly.
So it really was a case of, I talked to the director and said, if you want us to show you ours, show us yours. And so
I love how this is the art works.
It really was that easy in this instance. And it's a fabulous addition to have the two. And instead of just saying, okay, while ours is away, let us show yours, I know they want to show theirs in their big collection, in their big exhibition. So bringing these two together, both painted in 1903, or at least both finished in 1903.
And the Waterloo Bridge.
Waterloo Bridge from London, then Giverny in France. Waterloo Bridge, he was going to London 1899, 1900, 1901, and he's going each year. He painted this part of it while he was in London. He finished it in his studio. And you get that sense when you see it in person, the thick paint that's in the water. That was the addition. That's what he did back in his studio. Mm-hmm. The lighter part up at top, where in some areas you can actually see bare canvas. That's what he created when he was on site in London.
It's beautiful. So a big thank you to Jerry Smith at the Dayton Art Institute. It's a fantastic exhibit. It closes August 25th, so get out there to see it now. When we'll be right back, we're going to have Charlie Hester.
I used to feel alone, awkward, and self-conscious. I felt as if I was walking down an endless road leading nowhere. I suffered from deep depression, and I couldn't shake the pain. Soon I would catch myself having thoughts of suicide. I ached in pain for someone to come and help and tell me everything's alright. As I drifted off into my daily thoughts of emptiness, someone stepped in and reached out. They told me they were there for me. I later realized in a world this big, there will always be someone to confide in. I'm so thankful someone came to my rescue and made me feel loved. You do not have to suffer alone. Be the difference in someone's life and don't let another beautiful life be wasted. Don't wait until it's too late. Know the signs. Give light to someone in need. If you know someone who is suicidal, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-TALK.
All right, my next guest is a hysterical comedian and a fantastic lady. So put your hands together for Charlie Hester. Hello, my darling.
Hello. Thank you.
Oh.
Did I step on your toe?
No, you're fine. I wear a size 14. I don't even notice.
That's a big foot.
You're welcome. Anyway. All right, and we're off.
Woo!
Oh,
Good start.
First off, thank you for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm absolutely delighted and tickled.
So we're going to jump right into it. You have such unique way of doing your comedy.
I do.
So let's start with why this style? What kind of prompted you to do it?
I was very frustrated when I first started stand-up comedy. I was doing straight comedy, just, getting up to a mic and speaking. And it just wasn't making my heart pound and my knees weak. And so I've always been a musician. I studied opera in high school and college. I've been in bands, and I decided that I would try to write clever songs. And then that morphed into clever, dirty songs. And suddenly my heart was full and bursting. And so here we are. I'm a dirty ray of sunshine.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
And your yellow dress, it's in all of your pictures.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you. I was once told that I couldn't wear yellow because I'm a blonde. And so I
My thong is yellow right now.
Is mine too.
Damn it.
So
I
weird.
know.
We didn't even coordinate that.
It's the ESPN.
So anyway, so I decided, I was just going to start wearing things that were fun for me, something that was bright and happy. And I don't know, I'm a big believer in the world is full of magic. You just have to look for it. And so if there's a filthy mouth woman wearing a yellow dress and she comes into your world and shows you a little magic, that's how you win.
Yeah. Did you get that at home? Good.
Yeah.
So one of the big things I want to touch on is when you do your stand-up, you work with a charity.
I do.
So tell us about it.
It's a program that I created. Technically, it's not an actual charity. It's just something I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Great Girl Drive. And at every comedy show that I perform at, I collect pads and tampons, new boxes. And when my donation basket gets full, I donate it to a shelter, a women's shelter, in whatever city I happen to be in. And so over the last year and a half, we have helped 11 shelters all over the country.
That's awesome.
Thank you, thank you. Well, I was a shelter girl, and so this is my way of giving back. The services of the women's shelter in my community, it's what saved my life. And so this is my way of giving back and redeeming myself for the filthy things that I sing.
Well, we wanted to help you, so we here at Gem City tonight, we are donating to your charity as well.
Oh, thank you
We are.
so much. I
Of course.
appreciate that.
Of course.
So that'll be for our Dirty Dozen donation.
I love this interview.
I know, it's perfect.
So before you launch into your set, I always ask everybody who comes on the show, I know you're not from here.
I am not.
You travel here often. You're on Don Smith's show. We love him. He was on a guest.
Yep.
You're a big fan of our friend over here, Aimee James.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of Miss Aimee James.
I'm worried about it's like the gatekeeper and the keymaster. Should we get these two in the same room?
We've been in the same room.
That's what worries me.
It took over.
It was delightful. We had so much fun. And
Virgins fleeing for miles around.
we sat in our pajamas and she played and we sang together.
Pillow fight? No, never mind.
Pillow. Oh, that was my joke. You stole my joke.
Well, so when you come to town, where's one of your favorite places to go?
Oh, wow.
You eat, drink, and hanging out. Where are you going?
I'm old. I don't hang out.
You do.
I really don't. I am very introverted, shockingly, for being a comic.
Paradoxically, you're shy.
I know. It's true. I finish up shows, and then I usually just head to one of the many places that I've made home here in Dayton. Like Miss Aimee's house.
That counts. We can make this a local hangout.
Man, she has...
That sounded bad. I didn't mean it like that. That didn't... Keith's like, yes!
She has a dressing room in her house, and it is
That
the
is true.
sexiest thing I have ever seen. I am so jealous. I just go in there and I look, and I'm like, this just makes my heart so happy. So I just want to try on all the pretty sparkly things.
I say the same thing when I go over there. So, are you ready to serenade us?
I absolutely can. Are you sure you're ready for me?
Alrighty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Hester, please.
Thank you.
I have to roll back in my chair for this.
Nice red socks.
You're welcome.
I'm going to take 1 second just to tune real fast. It's that one.
It's like a baby guitar. I love it.
It's a ukulele.
I know.
All right. Are we ready?
Floor's yours.
All right. This song is called Sometimes. We've been out a few times, and I love the way you kiss. It's so hard to deny when there's chemistry like this. But there's something important that I've got to say. I'm confessing it now before we go all the way. Sometimes I fart during sex. It's a natural thing when you're awfully close to my cinnamon ring. And if you make me lose control, gas comes out my bum hole. Ooh. And sometimes I fart during sex. Oh, yes, I do. It doesn't happen every time, but I've seen the surprise in many a new lover's watering eyes. And I like you so much, don't wanna scare you away. Forewarned is forearmed, and that's why I've got to say. Sometimes I fart during sex, so when I'm in ecstasy, I might Dutch oven you accidentally. When you put pressure down there, it's gonna push some air. Ooh. And sometimes I fart during sex. Oh, now if I slip a stinker, I won't feel ashamed. Thank you.
Yeah!
'Cause sometimes I fart during sex. So if you really rock it, you hear the gracious applause of my demon socket. Whoa, I can't keep a tight latch on this chocolate muffin hatch. And sometimes I fart during sex. I'll never leave a skid mark unless you take a dump on my heart. 'Cause I don't deal with emotional stuff real well. So don't piss me off and make me shark during sex. Sometimes I fart during sex. Sometimes I fart during sex.
Woo! Yeah!
Oh, darling. Oh, my God. All right, we'll be right back with more. Screw it. Send it a commercial. Just send it. We'll be back. Couldn't even get it out. Just go to. It rolls. So all right, well, that's our show. I want to thank Jerry Smith from the Dayton Institute, Chella Marie Smith. How many Smiths do we have on the show? And then, of course, Charlie Hester. You know that Gem City Tonight is all about helping out, so always go to Girl Drive. Is there a way to donate?
The Great Girl Drive, yes. It's on my website, charliehestercomedy.com, and there's a PayPal account. And if you make a donation, I will give you some really cute stickers that say something I cannot say right now.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, remember Gem City Tonight, you're never alone. Oh, wow. Have a good night.